talk, real people, real conversation. Week to week, this the place to get your inspiration. Go and sit back and unwind, sipping on your coldest glass of wine. This the home of girl bosses and the warriors. Went from tragedy to triumph and it's glorious. Ain't no question if they ask, they got that fire. This the podcast that came to Aspire. Welcome to Aspire Podcast, home of the real. Real talk, real people, real stories.
I was dancing to my song. Hey guys, it's Jay, and yeah, we starting real right on time. I'm so proud because we never do that. Right on time. Listen, guys. Mike, introduce yourself. I want you to tell me about yourself. The special guest on the show today.
My name is Myke Nation. I'm from Orlando, Florida, born and raised. My family's from Dominica in the West Indies. You know, I'm just a creative, man. I just love music, art, anything creative.
You are an artist. I want to talk first because I always go back to everybody's roots because I feel like to understand how you got to this point, you got to understand where you came from.
Yeah.
So your family's from Dominica. You first generation, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me how that is because I'm not a first generation American. I couldn't even tell you, I was born in New York, but how is it, especially in Florida, because you were born 90s?
Yeah, 90s.
Late 90s? Oh my God, I'm old. You were born late 90s in Florida. That's when I moved here. Okay. And it's like a whole different world.
Yeah, especially
Orlando. And your family's cultured. They're from the islands. My family, half of my family's from the islands. How does that work? Are you teaching your family English? What does that look like?
They knew English, but not to the extent where their dialect, they knew it. The full dialect. So I would teach my mom certain stuff. Okay. But it was when I leave the house, I'm in America. When I'm at home, I'm in a different country.
Yeah. I could relate to that with my grandmother. Even though she was in the Bronx for 50 something years, you're Puerto Rican when you're there.
Yeah.
You were whatever you were there. At home, I was Americanized to the T. When I went to my grandma's house, it's okay, now I gotta speak Spanish. You gotta act a certain way too. So how is that? And you got siblings?
Yeah.
Okay. Are they all were born here?
Yeah, all my siblings were born here.
Okay. Are you the oldest? I'm so nosy, but this is what it is, right?
Well, I'm the oldest from my mom.
Okay.
But I also have step siblings.
Okay.
And with them, I'm the second youngest.
Damn, that's crazy. Okay. And they're all born over there?
No, my sister's dad is from America.
Okay. So that's not too bad. You were born, you were raised. How did you get into wanting to become an artist or wanting to be into music? Because I don't feel like you're just a musician. I don't feel like you're just an MC. There's a lot of things about you. So how did that come about? Young? You were young?
Yeah, I was young. It was just when you hang out outside, the green electrical box, everybody's just freestyling.
Yeah.
I
think I'm a rapper too at the green electrical box in the 90s.
It wasn't trying to be a rapper. It was just what everybody was doing. And then I was always doing it. Then my brother was like, hey, you should try to rap over an instrumental.
Yeah.
And then I tried it. And the first time I tried it, I just got addicted. I just started making music after that.
Why rap? Because when you're from the islands, there's so much different music. Why rap?
I guess because I just listened to a lot of hip hop growing up.
Yeah, okay.
I listened to a lot of things, but I listened to a lot of rap, with my uncles and my older brothers and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then I'm from Orlando and we in the South, so
I feel like that dirty rap, dirty South rap. Listen, I had Papa Doc on here maybe 2 seasons ago, and I was like, that's a whole different world than just saying you listen to hip hop. Like Southern rappers is a different vibe. Yeah. I feel like when you mix different beats too, I just feel like you guys have a sense of I don't know, it even feels a little Caribbean to me, but then it makes sense.
Yeah, it's like a melting pot.
Yeah. I agree because it's different. I grew up in New York, in the 80s. Don't ask me my age because I'll cut you. But but in the 80s, it was like you either, especially in the Hispanic world, you're listening to like, well, I loved reggae and soca even back then, but it's the salsa. But like hip hop was, if you were, especially, I don't know, Brooklyn was like, I'm from Brooklyn, so it was just like there were so many artists coming out, all these musicians, that I just fell in love with hip hop. I was a little girl rapping, thinking I was somebody, but I was like, I can't rap, but I like to think I can. But what does your family feel like or feel about? Because yeah, your siblings are cool because they're around your age, but like your parents, how does your mom feel about you even being in the industry?
Oh, well, my mom, she had me when she was 18, so our dynamic was a little different.
It's like sibling dynamic a little bit. Okay.
So she always supported anything I put my mind to, honestly. So, like, it don't even necessarily have to be music. She just going to support me if she see me doing something positive.
I don't even know what that's like. I'm a parent like that, like in that world.
Oh, man.
What? No, not in a bad way. It's just like everybody has different things. My dad passed away when I was young, so it's like different. But, can we talk about your real dad?
I don't really know him like that. Okay.
And the reason I always ask is because a lot of people that I know that are in the industry, but they're like, make excuses for themselves. It's always like, oh, well, I had this kind of past. So I'm always trying to tell people, like, it don't damn matter where you come from or what you did. Like, really, if you really want to do something, you're going to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're living proof, really.
Shout out to my mom, because she instilled that in me at a young age.
Shout out to mama. Hey, like, no, and to be her, like, for her to be that young of a mom and instill that, because a lot of young parents are like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, so I'm, and then you repeat the same mistakes, but it's hard. So she did the work. Because it's hard to stop the cycle of that. So shout out to mommy.
I gave her a lot of trouble, but I love her.
You were bad?
She held me down.
You were one of those bad kids?
Yeah, I had my phase. But it was just, I think that's just all boys.
I got 2 boys. I wish they would. Where you at? I wish you would. No, my oldest is about to graduate and join the military. Man. Yeah,
he
I'm
never gave you issues?
I mean, like, attitude here and there, but not.
Oh, that's
like,
good.
I
then.
wish.
So you
I
did
wish
a
he
great
would
job.
try. No, and we have okay. So like, I was 21 when I had him, but first of all, he almost died on me. Like, we have this bond, but just like with any super close bond, it's like he'll look at me like, and we're very similar. So yeah, and then I have a 12-year-old. No babies for you. No,
not right now.
He's a youngin' though. He's still got time. You got plenty of time, and don't let nobody rush you either.
I got plenty of nephews and nieces, man.
Listen, I was like the last to have kids, and I was 21. Exactly. It's like, I mean, I'm the third of 4. So, but even my younger brother had 2 kids before I had one. Like, yeah.
All my siblings had kids by
Is that
like
a thing
18.
Right? Like with island people, I just feel like you're rushed to have the family and the babies.
Yeah, my grandma always asking me when I'm gonna have kids.
You young, like what?
I was like, man, I like money right now. That's what I like.
Well, because to have babies, it costs money, right? Yeah. They don't just like live on air and water. And I wish, but no.
And I still say I'm still too selfish right now. I like moving on my own time. Like,
yeah, I think with me is like I did it more based on who I was with at the time and like planning on his time. And I tell everybody it should be a mutual time. Like, you should always be ready to have kids together, because if one's more ready than the other, that's a disaster. Believe me. I'm like, believe me. What do you think is something that you would instill in your kids from young if you had them?
Just believing in anything you like put your mind to, like if it's positive, of course, but like just like have goals for yourself and like understand that like you're a creator. No matter if you're a doctor, like you can create something.
Create something. What besides music do you create? Because I know it's not just music.
I do every now and then. I do art. I do like draw. I do graphic design.
I could tell you that. I could have told. I mean, I didn't know this, but it's like you give me just looking at your posts, like how you are. Like I just feel like you are very artsy, very. like creative, like you got to get something out. So if you weren't even rapping, you'd probably be creating something.
Yeah,
Like,
before I was rapping, I actually
speak about your before.
I used to do like poetry, and I tried to write a book when I was young.
So why not still do it?
I just I wrote I ain't gonna lie, I wrote most of the book, and then the computer crashed and I lost it.
So I'm a writer. That's what I'm asking. But I have yet to publish a book. I write poems and everything like that. But I keep everything like in a notebook. I'm old school with that because I know how things crash, how like you lose stuff. Not my writing.
I was
nobody
too
to
young.
see. For nobody to see. Not my writing though. Yeah. What made you kind of stop writing poetry? Because
music. I just got into like just because that's like just poetry on another level to me.
Poetry in motion is what one of my guests used to call it. Like music is poetry in motion. So yeah, which I agree with that statement 100%. Like life is, I see it as art.
And then it was like, and then growing up, like nobody really wants to take the poet guy serious. Like you look cooler if you're just rapping and freestyling.
I disagree with that, but that's different.
That's just where
I'm just like a different person either. Like I think you can be a rapper and not be a poet, but you can't be a poet and rap. Like you can't intertwine that. Like you have to, if you take rap seriously and the lyrics, most of these people are poets. I say most because some people are rapping about some dumb shit, but like most of them are poets anyway. Like most of the people I know, like I have a lot of friends that are local in the industry and stuff, and even in New York, and they are like poets at heart. They see the world in such a different light. You have to be rhythmically inclined. Like you have to be if you're rapping, especially if you're rapping, because you could sing a song and it could be all off tune, right? But if you're rapping, it has to be within, you gotta catch like that pocket. It is. And most people are really good musicians if they put their mind to it. If you could rap, you could almost do anything. I have a lot of respect for it. What is something that you feel like you haven't done yet that you want to?
I want to produce a movie one day.
A movie?
Yeah.
You went for, okay. That was something. Why do you want to do a movie?
I don't know. I just see myself making a movie. I like movies. I like watching movies.
Okay. Yeah. What's your favorite movie?
Man, you put me on the spot.
Yeah. What is this for if not putting you on the spot? I'm not doing my job if I don't put you on the spot. I'll
probably say Goodfellas.
Okay. So
I really like that movie. I like all kinds of movies. I really like. I've been watching a lot of comedy lately. Okay. But like, I just like movies that shot very well. It just looks like art.
Like looks like art. Oh,
yeah, like Quentin Tarantino movies.
Quentin Tarantino's, yes. It looks like art, and it's like you're like, oh, did I just watch that?
Yeah.
He leaves you speechless.
One movie that looks crazy, but it's not the best movie, is Belly. The whole movie looks like amazing.
I love that movie, but just like because it's nostalgic. Like I watched it as a kid. And I don't know why I was watching Belly. I know.
That's a wild movie.
9 years. Yeah, it's the wrong movie.
I was probably around the same age watching
I was listening. Like I was laughing because yesterday I was listening to like an old school mix, and it's stupid, but like Salt and Pepper came on, and I'm singing the lyrics. And I know what it means now. And I'm like, what was I had no business doing. No. Push it at no 8 years old. Like, what was I doing? But I love how our parents, you can't go out after this time. You better be home by 6 o'clock. It can't be dark out. But yeah, you can rap about having sex and being all kinds of wild. It's the like 80s and 90s babies. I'm like, they did not care for us. Not the way that we care for our kids these days.
That's how I feel about a lot of the reggae music too. When I listen to it, I was like, we was listening.
You slow motion that reggae song, and you're like, what the? Yes, and I love music.
But she was mad at my Tupac.
Exactly. My mom wasn't mad at anything. She just let me go all kinds. And she was like, oh, you can't go outside for about an hour. Like, she'd give us hour time frames to go outside, right? Mm-hmm. But she'd probably even play some of this dirty. Like, I'm like, what are you playing? I learned about sex through music. That truly. Like, when I think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. I'm wearing a Biggie shirt. I want to shout out.
Oh, shout.
Well, we'll do that later. I want to shout out you. What's your favorite song that you have released? I've heard some of your music, so.
Man, I'm trying to think because
And why? Everybody has like one that was like life changing, whether it was the process of making the song or just like putting it out.
I'll say, okay, I got one
I
for
know
you.
you do. I know
It's
you do.
it's called 10 Feet. It's like I made this probably in like 2017.
And why is it called
like,
10 feet?
It was like me. I'm the type of person I just like my space. So I was just saying in the song, just stay 10 feet away from me type stuff.
Okay,
Unless
before
I know
COVID, he said, I want
like I was already
not 4 feet. He said he wants 10 feet.
Yeah, I was already social distancing. But it's not even
sense.
like a lyrical song. Like when I made the song, I was doing a mic check and I was just freestyling, having fun.
Those are the best
And my
moments.
engineer was just like, nah, keep that. That's fire, bro. Like, we keeping that. I was just like, okay, we're going to keep it. And then we ended up releasing it, and it actually started, like, getting a little buzz. And RP, I ended up getting on a tour with, Ostentacion.
Yeah. I actually know who that is, yeah.
This was before he was famous, though. Like, we did a 3-day tour with Stally, and, like, that song landed me on that tour. It got me the video for free. Somebody reached out to me. They shot the video.
Isn't that crazy how things that you just come up with on the fly are the best things? Part of the show is literally like, I'm like, I feel like doing a podcast. And then now I'm here. Yeah. It'd be the best things when it just comes from the heart and you don't even know.
Exactly.
What is something that you feel like you want to leave behind when it comes to your music?
Definitely a legacy, like something you can always tap into to keep you moving forward.
So, like, if someone were to look back 100 years from now and listen to some of your music, what are 3 words that you think that they would want, that you want them to feel or say or think? Like, these are the 3 words that describe you. What would you want that?
A man, 3 words, okay. Is God-fearing one word?
That's we gonna make it one word.
You can say that. Insightful and ignorant.
Okay, why ignorant? That's a good one though, because a lot of people don't like to call themselves out or hold themselves accountable for that stuff. So why ignorant?
Because we like to think we know things, but we don't really know nothing at the end of the day. And then
you know whatever you think you know, right? Like,
yeah.
And then the rest you don't.
And then, like, I don't always, like, me personally, like, when I'm at home chilling or just with certain friends, I like to just be ratchet. Not necessarily, like...
You saw me before the show. We know. It's like, for me, it's like, life is already so hard.
Yeah.
Why not? Like, I'm always going to joke. I'm always going to, like, and if I'm slightly mean or like sarcastic, that means it's a good thing. That's always a positive.
Like, I like ignorant energy. I ain't gonna lie. Like, when I went to New York the first time, like, I was upset because nobody had attitude with me. I was like,
nobody fought you.
Yeah, I was like, y'all too nice for me. Like,
in New York, you went to the wrong streets. Like, come with me. I'll show you. I'll introduce you to family of mine. What do you mean? No, I love New York. But it is a melting pot of people. But I feel like at the moment, it's not what it used to be, and what it used to be is probably what you're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah. What it used to be, I mean, and there's some parts. I'll take you. Like, shout out to Red Hook, all my cousins out there in the hood, right? But, yeah, because even me in the hood, I'm like, wait, come with me. Like, come with me. And I grew up there. But I don't feel as scared in New York as I do here.
Okay.
You know why? Because Florida got some crazies.
Yeah, we do got a lot of crazies.
We got a lot of serial killers. Listen, and I'm like a serial killer. Like, I know too much about true crime.
Oh,
but,
man.
like, half of them are, like, did some kind of killing in Florida.
Man, I don't even like looking at the news because it's just murder.
I don't even look at the news. This is just, I like true crime. Like, I don't know why I look up this stuff, and then I do my research. I'm like, rabbit hole, and then I'm like, oh my god, I gotta walk with my looking like this.
I got something for you. Well, it's not really. It's something like true crime, but have you ever heard of the history of like downtown Orlando?
So, a friend of mine, well, Not a friend of mine sent it to me. I ran into it online, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's crazy!" Like, Beecham used to be a jail.
Yeah.
Like, there was like killings, and people would get hung in like hotel rooms and stuff.
Yeah.
I believe it. You know too much because you're from here.
Yeah. What about Okoye?
What happened in Okoye? I'm like,
Well,
what happened in Okoye?
well, back in this was before both of our time, but
I hope so.
this was
Because, you know, I'm only a year older than you.
it was originally a black city, and they
Always that, yeah.
and
I
they
knew that.
killed everybody, burned the city down, and took it over.
Yeah, Orlando.
Just to
Florida
sum it up,
has
yeah.
crazy backgrounds on
Yeah.
stuff. And yeah, I know all the slavery. Like, there was terrible things being done to slaves here, too. Like, that's why I don't really... I'll say, like, I have a love for Orlando. I have a love for Florida. I've been here a long time. But it's like, don't you ever think, like, dang, like, because they sweep that stuff under the rug. How are we clubbing in places where they would hang people? Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
insane.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm weird. So, like, I won't do, I like spooky stuff, but I won't do ghost tours in nobody's grave. We're not doing that. I'm
Yeah.
super respectful. I feel like you should respect the dead. But now that I know, and I just found this out like a couple days ago. Now that I know, I'm like, damn, I don't feel comfortable going out to some of these places. I'm like, They're like, oh yeah, there's dead bones and everything, because it was a grave site in parts of downtown Orlando too.
Yes.
I work by there too, so I'm like,
Yeah.
so pretty. At night, I was just telling my best friend, I was like, when you drive through downtown Orlando and it's like the sun is rising but the moon is going down at the same time, it's so pretty. No, I don't think so. I'm like, yeah.
Because you got all that new information, but
Dead people all over in this ground. I'm sure everywhere, but that's crazy. Or like parts of when you go to, you know, more southern Florida. I mean, there's a lot of because there's a lot of old, what do you call them, plantations and stuff. And what were they doing on plantations?
yeah, exactly.
I don't like to go to no plantation. No,
Yeah.
thank you. What's your favorite rapper's name?
Favorite rapper?
And it don't have to be a famous person, just somebody that you really.
I got a couple.
Give me three. Give me top three, because I know it's a hard question.
These three would cover my personality. I would say
Lord.
Wiz Khalifa.
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar.
I have to remember your age too. So I'm like, okay. I mean, but I'm with you on all the two so far. Go ahead.
I say Wiz, Kendrick, and Nipsey Hussle.
Okay. So Nipsey's up there for me. Just not only rapper, but just like in general, just human being. Period.
Exactly.
I'm a Nas girl. I'm a New Yorker too, so I'm a Nas girl.
But my top 5 would be different though. Those are just my favorite rappers.
So what's your top 5? I'm gonna need this information. Let's go.
I ain't gonna lie, it might change depending on what time of the year you ask me, but
You're like, nah. Or like if somebody came out with a new album that you just love, is fire. Yeah. Who is it?
Number 1, I give it to that. I'll say Lil Wayne, hands down. Like, that's never gonna move.
Okay.
After that, I'll probably say like Styles P. This is no order. I'm gonna just name 5.
Yeah.
I say Styles P, Gucci Man. What's
You
that,
are
3?
from Florida. You are from Florida. Like I could have read him. Like, yeah, you are.
That's all. Before I listen to hip hop, I listen to straight Gucci Man. But Gucci Man, Styles P, Currency.
Okay.
What's that, 4?
Yep.
And then I'll throw Jay-Z in there as well.
Okay? So I liked, obviously, Jay-Z is pretty up there. He's just not my favorite. Like, but when I think of like how he came up, and I mean, I support him. I love his music and everything. But unpopular opinion, there's so many good talented artists, right? Like, he's good, and I mean, like the Blueprint, all of those albums were like movies, you know. Actually, I gotta ask this question because I haven't asked but one other person. If you were gonna choose a song to represent your life, which song would it be?
Oh man, dang.
You know, I gotta go a little deep. We've been chit chatting.
Let's see.
Listen, you got a Yankee hat
I don't
on.
know why that. Who sings that song? That Back to Life.
Back to reality. Really? Really? Okay.
I don't know
and
why.
why.
That was just like the first song that popped in my head right now.
Like if I had a soundtrack
I
for
love
my
that
life,
song though.
I do, and you're bringing me back. Like that's my life, like '90s, like.
Yeah, you don't know. You just don't know. I grew up on all that '90s. Cause my mom, that's what my mom loves. So like, I would naturally
I'm
just.
probably her age. Oh my god. Is your mom in? Well, I'm not 40 yet. So how old is your
my mom's in her 40s.
Okay, so but I'm probably like she would be my homegirl, right?
Probably.
Yeah, like that age.
Yeah, I can see y'all being cool though. I ain't gonna lie.
So back to that's a song that I would have never thought for you. And if you were gonna write a book, what would be the title?
A book.
Now you have to release this book. You know that, right?
Oh man, so let me think of a good title.
If it was an autobiography, what would be the title?
Or an autobiography?
Yeah, about you.
I would just call it One Nation.
Like this, listen, it's crazy because I did not know that you were called that before. And I was like, man, like all day, because I always think of titles. And listen, I'm going to tell it like it is. Like I always think of titles, but it has to be something that just like comes to mind, comes to like brings true to me about whoever I'm going to interview, right? But yours, like it kept saying, I just kept thinking One Nation, One Nation. Tell everybody, because like now he's telling me that was his first rap. Like tell everybody One Nation, who One Nation was.
Before I even did music, I used to box. So my boxing, everybody at the gym, they have nicknames.
Yeah.
And my nickname was One Nation, and that's what it was also a dojo too, so that's what the sensei named me, One Nation.
Okay.
I never asked him why, but I guess I was just like one of a kind, I don't know. But he just called me One Nation and it's carried on to music.
And your real name?
Myke Nation.
That's your real name?
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay. I got it. And then your first rap name was that too.
Yeah.
Which I had no idea. I was just like, damn, why does One Nation keep like it just feels right? And that's what I named this. I already named this.
And I only changed my rap name because everybody just called me Myke. It was like Myke Nation, or even my teachers, they never just said Myke. They would just be like Myke Nation.
That's funny. I have a friend that I call her by her full name. I'm not even gonna say it because she'll hate me for it. But I call her by her full name every time. Like even when I talk about her, it's like her full name.
Yeah, I'm one of those kids.
Have that. You were one. It's because you was bad, right?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. My last name honestly like helped me get through a lot of stuff in school.
Well, because it's not a normal last name.
So
like I got a boring I'm
so
my boring last name.
So once you were like know my last name, it was like you can't really forget who I am.
One Nation under God. He started he was like doing the whole Pledge of Allegiance. I'm like, no, we're not doing that, because I was like, we're naming it One Nation.
Even like my friends in class would be look at me during that part, the One Nation part. Like it was just. Shout out to my mom. My mom's last name is Nation too. So
okay. What does it come from? Is it really like from?
It's my family.
From the West Indies?
Yeah, it's my family's name.
That's crazy. I never heard it.
And I'm the last nation.
You're the last nation.
Yeah.
He's One Nation and the last one. You better start procreating.
Yeah,
then.
I got to.
You the last nation. I can't.
Cause my sister, she got a different last name.
Yeah. Well, now you got to make a whole family. Yeah. If you were to have a kid, would you want them to follow in your footsteps of having some music in there?
Yeah, if they enjoy, yeah, energy, I would definitely teach them how to like read music and stuff like that, just so they can know.
My boys do. They're like literally kids that can like just pick up an instrument and learn it. It's just stupid. I'm so mad. I'm very musically inclined, but I just don't feel like I'm that good.
See, that's where you limiting yourself right there.
Don't be talking. This is about you. But yes, I always been musically inclined. I can read music. I would like to think I can write music, but it's been so long. But my kids will pick up an instrument, especially my youngest. He's one of those kids that's just like, he's an artist too. Like his art is phenomenal. They both can really draw. But my youngest, he was like 6 months on the conga, like just playing with it. But I was like, yo, but that sounds good. It's stupid. And my youngest, he's like that too. He's like, oh, I'm gonna learn the piano this week, and just
That's how I was growing up.
Just learns the piano. I'm like, all right, show off. But yeah, they're like that, artistically inclined. I would say their art comes from their dad, because I could draw you a stick figure. Like I could think of something beautiful and like have a good idea, and like if I let you teach me how to draw, I don't have a drawing bone in my body. But writing words, like when I was younger, because, and I don't know if you feel this way, because your family are like aren't native to the language and everything like that. Even though my mom had lived in New York probably 20 years before I was born, to this day this lady has the thickest accent of anybody. So like I just wanted to be good at words. I wanted to be able to speak. I wanted to be able for people to understand, whether you was poor, whether you was rich. Like I wanted to be able to dialects. I wanted to understand all that because of that. So that's what I got good at. I was like, all right, I'm gonna be good at words,
respect
right?
that.
Yeah.
I should have did that, because at a point it felt like it's like I could speak a little bit of Creole, because they speak Creole in Dominica, and then like I speak like whatever broken English my family speaks. So it was like I was kind of like having to learn new words. Like English was like my first language, but it was still like weird to me.
It's funny because English is my first language, but I'm fluent in Spanish, but it didn't come always that easy. Yeah. And then like I've been around a lot of Haitian people, so I can understand some Creole, but I wish I could perfect some more languages, but I just was like, okay, no offense to my family, but like, okay, ignorance is not always bliss, and they didn't think that being smart was important. And I was like, you know what, I don't want to be like the smartest person in the room, but I want to understand the smartest person in the room. Exactly. That's how it was for me. That it was like big. Like I read, and I was one of those kids. Like I'm gonna read all kinds of the dictionary. Even you think it's crazy, but it's true. Like, and it makes you a better writer anyway.
Yeah.
Because like I just feel like somebody told me. I think it was, and shout out to Ray Sosa. He's a rapper too. He lives in Washington, but one thing he said when he was on the show, which I was like, yo, that's so true, is like people that curse a lot, or people that just like, you know what I'm saying? They'll fill in that, like, because they don't know the words to use, right? So they'll just curse at you, right?
I do that a lot.
But it's funny.
I say yarn to me.
Nah, I mean, listen, I joke around watching Love is Blind. Listen, don't judge me. Don't judge what I watch, but not Love is Blind. Some dating reality something. And it was like they're European, and hey, shout out to D-Rock because he watches it with me, and we'll joke and like, no, I mean, because they say it too, and it's just like a lot of people use that in turn, like because they don't know the word for whatever they're trying to say. So I was like, okay, you know what? It's true. Like that's where the slang comes in. That's where the cursing comes in. That's where the nah, I mean comes in, is because you don't really. So I just started learning words, all kinds of words. Like, yeah, I was a kid reading the dictionary at 6 years. If you look at me sideways with those sunglasses, but I was that person, right? It's crazy how, but do you think that your family has held you? Oh, this is a tough, strong, I'm thinking off these, like off rip, but like, do you think your family held you back in any way when it came to anything that you wanted to do in growth? Because they were first generation American is tough. I only know a few people like that.
Nah, so like my family inspired me a lot growing up, just like knowing, because my mom would always like tell me how we got to America or how they got to America. Yeah. And just like the whole story was just inspiring to me, just like what they went through and how they got here. And now like I'm here and you still like working hard. It's like, dang, like I gotta do something. Like
there's some hard working ass people, I will say that. A couple weeks ago I had my girl Millie, and she's first generation American too, and she was like, yo, like she was brought up by her mom and her aunts, and how like, yo, she'd never seen anybody work harder. I can't say that I know what that's like to watch like certain family. I have certain family that, but like my immediate family to work hard, nah.
Yeah, my mom worked 2 jobs.
Yeah, and
but
that's
she don't work
crazy.
2 jobs no more. But she used to when we were young.
Just to make it work.
Yeah.
And I respect people like that, because listen, I've done it, but not a lot of people work like that. They're hardest working
She was
people.
hustling and going to school.
So she gave you, and that's what I did too. She gave you like that background to like, yo, we gotta hustle, we gotta do all kinds of stuff.
It wasn't even like we gotta do that. She was just naturally just telling me where I come from.
Yeah.
And I just I took it
because
upon
in certain
myself.
other countries you gotta do that. Like, you don't even think this is what I have to do. You just do it because that's what you gotta do. Like, what do you think is the best thing that your mom instilled in you?
Not relying on anyone to get anything done.
Okay.
Gotta watch her do a lot by herself and not complain.
Do you think
and
it's
still help other people in the process?
I like that. But do you think it's a downfall sometimes too? To not rely on anybody?
Nah, because if you have those people you can rely on, they're going to be there for you. But, like, you know, sometimes
don't
people,
expect it, but just keep going. Yeah, because I have beautiful people around me, but I never expect them to have any kinds of my back. Like, I get it.
Yeah, with
it's true.
Sometimes when people rely on people too much when they're not there in that moment, they feel like hurt.
It's crippling.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can't do nothing. Nah. I think because I didn't have the background that you did, like I didn't have the traditional anything in my life, that it taught me to just keep doing what I do. Sometimes I have to catch myself because not allowing someone to help you is also a bad thing. I'm just learning that. I just keep going, and I'm like, I don't tell nobody nothing. I suffer alone, like kind of stuff. But it's also not the best trait to have. Like, you know what I mean? And then tell me more about your music. Mm-hmm. Are you coming out with anything new? What's
I'm
now?
working on. Well, actually, I'm working.
Come on, this is your 10. Like, tell
I'm
them.
working
tell
on
the
some sync placements. So I'm working on like music for like TV shows and like movies and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're gonna have a movie?
That's the goal. Yeah, I'm gonna have. The goal is to land some placements in movies and shows and stuff.
Okay, I think
I've been
somebody
working with some good
Ant's
people.
Partner does stuff like that for TV shows, and that's a big deal.
Yeah, so right now I just got a bunch of like beats and stuff from a couple of producers that do sync placements. So I'm just trying to study music that lands on like TV and like
things that make sense for it. Yeah.
Just study the sonics of it and try to get it right.
I've never heard that. No one's on the show. Like, I know a lot of rappers. I know a lot of musicians, but no one's ever been like, yeah, I want to do, like, because when I think of like certain movies, I think of their soundtracks. Like, I'm like, yo, that's what made the movie, right? Like,
there's some fire soundtracks.
And maybe not a lot of people are gonna agree because of the type of music, but like Forrest Gump, old ass movie, right? Probably before your time, or maybe right at your time.
Soundtrack probably.
But like the soundtrack is what you remember from that movie. Besides, like, yes, it's a good movie, but like I was like, yo, like it, whatever kind of music it played, because they played hard rock, they played classic, like just like smooth music, they played jazz in that. I will never forget. Like, it takes you on a journey.
You ever go back and just listen to like movie soundtracks?
Hell, even Belly, really, if you think about it, like the music there made it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have certain movies without the music that they had in it. Bad Boy.
Oh, they have some of the most fire soundtracks.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like Bad Boy, I'm like, if you put it on mute, like, does it feel the same? No.
Nah.
Like, no, you need the music. Yeah, I agree. Okay, that's a big deal for me.
That's what I'm working on.
Yeah,
but I'll probably drop a mixtape in the meantime while I'm working. I have so much music, so I'll probably just drop like a mixtape. Are you the type?
Because I have a few guys that were like, "Yeah, I got 10 years of music." Are you
Nah,
that type?
I ain't got 10 years of music.
You got 10 years? You were 5 years old.
I try to make a song, at least one song a week, just to exercise.
Really?
You know?
But that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot of music.
I end up making more than one song a week, honestly. But
one song a week is like crazy.
Yeah, but they don't always be fire. It's just to keep my like pen sharp, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, some people might think they're fire, but I just be knocking them out and moving on.
What's your creative process?
It varies. Sometimes I like to put on like an NBA game, watch the game, and play some beats. and then I might get inspiration and start recording
from
or
an NBA game. That's crazy.
Because like I like watching certain people. I watch like Kyrie, like he's like a artist in himself on the court. So like
I feel like sports is an art.
Yeah.
Whether you agree with me or not, I don't care. Sports is an art because it really, they work just as hard.
Exactly.
And I mean, like let's like a play, let's say football or whatever, it's still like there's so much thought that goes into each play and where a person go. I don't know, I just think it's an art. I think a lot of things are art. Like I'm an artsy person, so I just love
life
it.
Is art, honestly. Like I always tell people, like you can create the life that you want. Like it don't mean like you got to be like an artist to go draw something, but like if you want to obtain something, just you're literally an artist. Like you got to manifest it and go get it.
I love that. I'm going to use that. I'm going to be like, yo, you got to go manifest it and get it.
Exactly.
I think life is art. I just think people, when you have a hard life or when you get distracted by what is the worst thing that could happen. And even like people are human, so I've done that too. But at the end of the day, like you woke up this morning, God gave you a chance to live that life. And you are indebted, in my opinion, to him to create the art that he gave you the tools to create.
Yeah.
Make the world a better place just because he created it, right? He created you for a reason. I'm really big. I'm like a spiritual person. Are you?
You can say that.
Is it from like your family? Are they like? Did you grow up? Are they Catholic in Dominica? Most times it depends.
I believe so. Yeah. I'm not really sure, to be honest, but they're definitely
too.
Christian.
Like yeah, for sure. Like because I was brought up Catholic. I wouldn't consider myself a Catholic, but I'm definitely a Christian. I'm more like spirituality more than anything. Believe in the higher power. Do good. Like be a good damn human, and that's it, right? Because that's really like I tell people, like you don't have to read the Bible to be a good human. You just gotta know what not a good human feels like, and then you'll never want to be that again. Yeah, it's true. What is next for you? I'm gonna read your name on a movie in the credits, right? So that's next.
Yeah.
Maybe a mixtape. What else?
Let's see.
Are you dating? Listen,
I'm gonna drop.
I'm gonna ask that question, and I asked it. Are you dating?
You know, I'm meeting
He's dabbling.
People.
You got your toes dipped in the water.
I'm networking.
Networking. You can't say that. People can see this. You dipping your toes. You can't network as dating. That makes it sound like it's many people. I mean, it's none of my business, but
I try to, I just try to just meet as many people as I can.
How do you date when you're, because like in this industry, and I say this industry just like in all entertainment in general, because like I feel like I'm in the industry in a different way. But how do you date someone? How do people? Because like, listen, some people date you just because you rap.
Mm-hmm.
How do you distinguish like the good people, the people that are genuinely in it for you? I'm asking for a friend / me. I'm good, but I just
I get more attracted to people who have like their own self-drive.
I agree with that too.
So when it's like, I don't like when it's like the relationship kind of revolves around me.
Okay. I think in general, people should have their own thing going on too. It's beautiful to support and be there for each other, because like, I got that, and I'm blessed with that. But like when you don't have that, it's really awkward. It's really awkward.
And like I like to say I'm like a real creative, because like you gotta like understand like the way I move too, because like I might just get a great idea and I don't want to hear nothing else, and I'm gonna go like create,
Okay. Have you had trouble because of that? Because women ain't shit sometimes, right?
Yeah, for
I
sure.
love my women, but like a lot of women, and I could say this because I am one, tend to be like almost selfish. Like, it's not about me, so I don't want you to do it. I don't have that in me, but how do you deal with that? That's crazy.
I just kind of slowly distant myself, like.
Somebody else on the show said something about how, like, sometimes they felt like they were sneaking their music because their significant other wasn't supportive. Would you even do that? Because at this point in my life, hell no. Like, if I gotta hide my shit, I'm not doing it.
You either accept me for who I am or don't. Okay. Like, because I'm accepting you
he's
for
single,
who you are.
but he's mingling. I'm not saying he's out there networking because that's weird. But ladies, hit him up.
Nah, I'm just being funny, man.
Networking.
Now, I'm really, right now, I ain't even really dating. I'm just focused on, like, just me and growth. Like, I got a lot of things I want to accomplish too. So like,
name them. We're manifesting. So name some stuff.
So I've been working.
Scoring and
I'm working on a clothing brand right now.
A brand? I could see you having that.
Yeah.
And I could see you designing like everything that's on there.
Yeah.
Would you do like just regular like tees, or would it be deeper than that? Like a whole.
I want it to be like a movement, like a lifestyle brand.
Okay, I like that for you. Well, make it happen because it's going to happen.
Yeah, so I got that, and then I want to just crank out a lot of music videos as well. I haven't really been focusing on, like, just the content that like that.
I am terrible at content. I got to do better. How do you get content done? Do you have people do you have a team that does help you with that?
I got a couple of homies that help me, but for the most part, I got, like, some cool gadgets that make it look like somebody's helping you. But like,
I'm gonna need to talk
all
to
you
you.
gotta, man, it's basically
just like,
turning
I took
the
a
camera
picture.
on.
I don't know. Yeah.
You just gotta turn the camera on, really, man. Like, for a while, I just felt like I needed to just perfect my sound and like my lyrics or whatever.
Which matters.
Before I focused on like being an artist for real.
Like everything, because I feel like a lot of people say artists, right? But there's the music aspect, the writing aspect, and then like what you see, the videos and the persona. Do you think your persona and who you are as a person match?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because it's not always the case. Like, I've met people here, and that's not a bad thing. It's just like sometimes they have this asshole like, oh, like womanize their persona, but they're genuinely just like Joe from down the street who, you know, give you the shirt off the back. I like when the person that you see on screen is close to the same person. I like that authentic feeling because not everybody's like that.
Yeah, I try to keep my music authentic. Like, I don't be saying no like crazy that I can't, like, when you meet me.
No, I've heard some of your stuff and I was just like, okay.
It's like I'm ratchet too at the same time.
But like, that's just like who you, because we all have different parts of, everybody's like, oh, you're so, because I'm an intense person, if you haven't noticed, but you're so intense. You like, I like deep conversation, but I don't need to be talking about depth all the time. I need to laugh. Like, but when you got here, I'm joking. I'm just taking a sip. We're taking a shot. Like all that.
Like,
it's like not everybody has to be one thing, right? But I feel like society likes to box you into something, right? Oh, you're a female that does this and this and this, and you're Latina, so you got to be. No, we ain't doing that.
For a while, like when I first started making music, I was like I always rapped on all different types of beats, but I guess like the first music I released was like super lyrical, and like people saw me as really positive. So like I wanted to like put out some other stuff, so you know, like when you see this from me, don't like.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine, Shaquan Williams, come on the show, and he's actually a friend to the show, so he's even co-hosted, and he's a good guy. But like when I was interviewing him and I was playing some of his music, I'm laughing because Ant, the studio manager, was like, wait, you can't talk about religion and then have a song like this. And I was like, yes, you can, because this is all inclusive.
Yeah, that's how I am.
Like, you're going to be like, oh, praise God, but, oh, shake that ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all inclusive.
I always say, like, I'm the biggest hypocrite. Don't follow me. Like, because I'll be praising God, but you might see me talking about, like, a girl shaking ass, you know?
Yeah. But
I'm
it's
human.
You. Yeah. I feel like it's worse when you don't acknowledge that you got different sides. So and Shaq is like that, where he has so many different sides. That's why I chose certain songs that I knew was going to be like a little risky, and then we're still going to talk about religion because he's a religious guy at the end of the day. So it's like, I don't like when people try to put you in a box or try to tell you like you can't do something. You could praise God, and yes, I mean, maybe it's hypocritical to some, but like I'm a true believer in art is for art. It's not always that deep.
Yeah.
Right? We're talking about shaking ass. it's not that deep, right?
Yeah.
It's not. But then you could have a song that's just like talking about all that stuff. I don't care. I love art. I love an album that like will take you on a roller coaster. Okay, he starts with like, okay, we're at the club, we're doing this, and then I love then, okay, we're doing, and I don't mean to say R. Kelly, but you know, like baby making music, all of that. Put that all in an album, and I'm gonna listen to it. I don't care. I love that.
Yeah, it's all about the vibes, man.
Exactly. And if it's genuine to the person, if it comes off fake, I can't hear it. Like I'll shut it off. But you didn't come off fake, and nothing I heard.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
I listened. I put you on my, I put you on my Spotify and Apple Music.
I got a couple saves.
I did. I saved you. I followed you. Like it's funny because I don't do that to all the artists that come on here. So just telling you, it's true. But I like authentic music, and I like music that feels like somebody cared to make it. You know, like somebody cares. Sometimes music sounds like you just threw the shit together and I don't, you know, like, and I've heard artists like that. And unfortunately, that's not just Florida, that's everywhere. You're like, someone that wants to be famous, right? Because sometimes musicians, even people that podcast, even people that are on the radio, whatever, sometimes it's not about the art. It's more about like the recognition.
Exactly.
Do you care for the recognition?
Nah, because I went like probably like 3-4 years without like ever, well, I mean, not ever, but I went like 3-4 years without dropping music. And it wasn't intentional. I was making music the whole time, but like I was just, I don't know, it was just something, it's therapeutic for me, honestly.
Yeah, I get that because for me, I put pen to paper, therapy. Sometimes, listen, I have things recorded on my phone that are not for nobody to hear, but it's just therapy. Like sometimes deep conversations with yourself. I don't care. I started this literally because I was going through some of the toughest times of my life, and I was just like having a deep conversation with just random ass people is therapy to me.
Yeah.
And telling people stories. Like I love knowing that like you're from Florida, I live in Florida, and we're so different, but like look, we're all here, right? Tell people where they can find you, all your music. Where is it? I want plug yourself.
You can find me on social media at Myke Nation, Instagram at Myke Nation, Myke with a Y, MYKE.
Yes.
You can find my music on like any platform. Like just search Myke Nation. You
That's
can.
how I found you.
I would prefer you search Myke Nation After Hours. That's the latest project. There's some dope vibes on there. Yeah.
I haven't heard that one.
Oh, you gotta check it out. It's
Okay.
like it starts off very like up tempo, then I end it with like some
what
more,
I said. Give me a little bit of a journey.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's a little journey
Myke
on
Nation.
there.
I'm gonna do a podcast.
It's not like the most deep dive, but it's something you can play and feel good when you hear it.
And there's nothing wrong with like I love deep dives, but I also love like I just want to feel good.
Yeah.
I'm a Bob Marley fan. Like
I love Bob. Yeah.
Like, so if I'm like in a bad place or just like, damn, this was a shit day, how can you feel bad playing Bob? And some of his songs are like, okay, deep, but some of them are just like, I just want to feel good.
Yeah, you just want the
There's
good
nothing
vibes.
wrong with feeling good. Yeah.
That's why I called it After Hours. 'Cause after hours, you just want to vibe.
Yeah,
Either
chill. You
get
just
to
want to drink your
get
drink.
to the crib or whatever you're trying to do. You know.
I like that. See, Myke, I knew I liked you. Listen, you came with like, oh, I already know what I'm gonna tell this girl. Like you came, oh, like I'm gonna be on the show. It just felt right because I've said no, and people could tell you. Like I've said no because, for one, like I want to have an actual conversation. I want people to know the artist. I have people that are not doing no real art, but they have a story. But when I say like, I was like, oh, this man coming to me. You had a whole like, oh, listen, I'm gonna send you my bio. People, even when I ask questions, they're like, they'll reach out to me like, hey, I want to be on your show. Okay, so why do you want to be on my show? And they're like offended. But how do I not ask that question? Why do you want to be on my show? I'm Aspire Podcast. I'm talking deep. Like I joke around a lot, but I want to find out what's your story. And the minute you ask someone a question and they're just like, nah, okay, well, I'm going to ask you questions on the podcast, so be ready, right? But you were quick with it, and I was just like, I get a good energy from you, so I was going to have you on. I've said no
I appreciate it.
Tons. I appreciate you for coming on here. We're going to have to Listen, when you have your score, like, don't forget the little people.
Yeah.
I want to
I'll
go to a
definitely
movie
come back.
premiere. That's like a goal of mine. Like, I love movies. I love the art.
Yeah.
I could watch even a black and white movie, and people think I'm a serial killer just for, but I just love the art of it. Um, and when you add music to that, that's everything to me.
Yeah, I can't wait to just start creating for the placements.
I'm gonna ask you right here, so you can't say no.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe for next season, we'll change the song to the podcast intro, and maybe it'll be a Myke Nation song.
Oh, maybe. Let's see.
We're gonna work. See, I asked him
like
right here, so
that.
he can't say no.
Okay, I got you.
No, seriously, because like
Yeah.
I mean, I love my song, and I worked with the artists, to write it and things like that. But like changing, I like to change and evolve. So I got a good feeling about you. We'll do more. Stay tuned. Last thing I want to ask before we let you go is, what is a word of inspiration that someone has told you that stayed with you throughout your life, where you would think that changed your life?
I would say it's not even a word of inspiration, but like read books. Because I read a book, I would say read this book called Acts and It Is Given. That book changed my life. And I found that book through just watching interviews. I think it was Big Sean. He was just naming books he read.
I like Big Sean.
Yeah, and that was one of the books. And that was like that interview stuck with me for my whole life. So like I would say that.
Okay.
Because I found that book and it changed my perspective on life.
What is something that you would tell someone as like something that you wish you knew, little Myke knew, even if it's for the industry or just on a personal level?
I would say look at all the hard things you've been through and how you survived it. And that's just proof that God made you a soldier. He got you.
Oof. I'm just going to end it there because what the hell?
Yeah.
I agree with that 100%. I always tell people, like, first of all, God don't make nobody weak. Nobody's weak. It's just sometimes people let the things that the world comes at them with destroy who they really are. But I just think it's such a disservice to God to believe that the shit that people tell you, the world tells you, is a disservice to God to not act on what He gave you. So yeah. Thank you. Now I love you. All right,
I appreciate
guys.
you having me.
No, thank you. All right, guys, it's over. I'm Aspire J, and this is Aspire Podcast. Real quick before we go, I have a little.
We used to fuss when the landlord dissed us. No heat. Wonder why Christmas missed us. Birthdays was the worst days. Now we sip champagne.
Why I posted that, it is Sunday. It will be Biggie's anniversary of death. He is like a legend in my book. I also wanted to speak about next Saturday at the Veranda, a Jay Johnson event. I'm going to be there. It is going to be hosted by Jay Johnson and I Am D-Rock, and there's going to be like Big Ed, Livewire, Caesar, like a bunch of DJs from the area. I'll be there. I wanted to say, like, hey, here's an invite for everybody. Go out there and support. It's a Biggie event, so it's going to be good. All Biggie music, which, I mean, like, how can you not? You should come.
Yeah. When is it? Sunday? Saturday?
Saturday.
What time?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's 4 to 9. It's like a day party.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll be there. Come out and support. It's for Biggie.
Yeah. Favorite Biggie song?
I think it's damn, I can't even. I don't know. I don't have one. No, I do. I think it's I can't pick one.
What's the one where
I can tell you favorite lyric.
Okay.
Because I have it on another shirt. Damn right, I like the life I live because I went from negative to positive.
It's all good.
I just feel like that's like my anthem. Like, damn right. Like, I'm gonna celebrate every win. I'm gonna celebrate every day because you don't know the life I lived before.
Yeah.
Like, you would have never known just looking at me, the things that I survived. So that lyric sticks with me everywhere I go. Like, damn right. Yeah, I deserve to live positive.
Facts.
Exactly. I love you guys. Thank you. Bye.
I got a story. Real talk, real people, real conversation. Week to week, this the place to get your inspiration. Go and sit back and unwind, sipping on your coldest glass of wine. This the home of girl bosses and the warriors. Went from tragedy to triumph and it's glorious. Ain't no question if they ask, they got that fire. This the podcast that came to Aspire. Welcome to Aspire Podcast, home of the real. Real talk, real people, real stories. Give it up one time for y'all hosts, Sue J.